Hey guys, so I recently put up a post on which one that you wanted to see, whether it was going to be a makeup video or a roommate video, and everybody chose the roommate video, so here it goes. My last year of college, I had to move off of campus because, the girl didn't have no money, and I didn't know where I was going to go. Honestly, I didn't know what I was going to do until I got a call from a person, and another person was on the line, and so they asked me, would you want to be a roommate for this last semester or this last year? And I was like, okay, yeah, why not? Because I didn't look for no options. School was coming up, the school semester per se was coming up, and I didn't have no options. So I was like, okay, all right. So my friend at the time, he was like, I don't suggest you do that. I don't think you should do that. But I was like, I don't have any other option. And like, this going to be like my last semester or whatever. So let me just tough it out or whatever. They can't be that bad. The people that was asking me, they could not be that bad. But I was mistaken. But anyway, so something ended up happening. And so it was just only going to be me and one girl just going to be a roommate. We were just going to share a house or apartment or whatever. Sorry. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I knew the girl prior. Like, I knew her maybe for a year, but we wasn't friends because we didn't run like in the same circles. But we knew each other from like a job, let's say a job. And I always had like a bad feeling about her. You know how you have these bad feelings about people? Like, you hear they talk shit about you, but you don't, like for me, if somebody talks shit about me, my thing is if they didn't come address me, don't put no light into it. That's just how I think. So anyway, so I was like, okay, whatever. It's just going to be for, a short period of time. I can stick it out. So, we finally moved in. First of all, she sends me a picture of the apartment. So the apartment in the picture looks updated, like white walls, like modern looking. And I love modern looking stuff. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And so the day of moving, I was moving all my stuff. I had a U-Haul, my mom, whatever. We came to this shitty little shack. And that was going to be our apartment. And I'm like, wait, the picture in a shitty shack does not, it's no. Like, the shitty shack was not given like the picture. That was the first red flag. But I already done moved all my stuff in the U-Haul, moved down here. My mom, she didn't know what the fuck was going on. She looked at the shack. She was like, but she didn't say nothing. So, so I was like, okay, I'm already down here. So just move my stuff in. And so I didn't bring it up to her, but I guess she said, I don't know if I did it or not. I don't remember. I think she said that, I don't know what she said. So we're just gonna, yeah. But anyway, so when we moved in, she gives me the little leasing agreement contract or whatever, go through all the rules. It was like, if you're gonna have pets, let them know, let the leasing office know. But she said we wasn't gonna have pets. And I didn't want no pets in, where I stay. I'm sorry. So cause it was already a shitty shack. So you already have to clean up that. I don't feel like cleaning up after no animals, so no. So we went through all the rules or whatever. And I was like, okay, cool. At that time, I didn't have no car. And when we first moved in the apartment, I was trying to transfer my job from Atlanta down there to where I was going to school at. So she had a car at the time. So I was like, okay. So I was like, hey, if you take me here, I can pay you. You know what I'm saying? Because I need to secure the job. And she knew I needed to secure it too, because how am I going to pay my bills without a job? So she was like, okay, cool. So y'all, when I first got in her car, first of all, you know, you could smell a car from opening up the door. It's already going to be a problem. And that's what it was. When I opened up her door, it stank. It smelled musty. How does your car smell musty? I'm not understanding. Anyway, so I was like, I just had to do what I had to do, child. So I got in the car. She takes me to my job or whatever. So I secured a job or whatever. I think I gave her some money, or I probably, offered to get her something to eat. I don't know, but every time I, got in her car, but it was only twice that I got in her car because it was that bad, guys. And plus, I didn't want her to think that I couldn't hold my own weight. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want her to really think that I was depending up on her, because that's not something I would want somebody to think. Like, no, if you do something for me, I will, like, do something for you, like, pay you back. Like, I don't want you to think that I'm just no freeloader. And I just didn't want her to. So, yeah, it was only twice that I rode in her car. But after that, my job was only like it was literally across the street. So I just walk across the street. Like I used to work early mornings, like 5 a.m. So, it'll still be dark. So I just had to do what I had to do. I had to get out the bed, walk in the middle of the morning and go to work. Praying to God I wouldn't get snatched up or nothing. You know what I'm saying? It was better for me to do that than to ask her for a ride in her car. Like, y'all, no. So I thought everything was going good. You know what I'm saying? Until, so the same friend that I was telling y'all about earlier, he's friends with her too. But me and him is closer to, to each other. Like, he's closer to me than her, if that makes sense. Like, he's closer to me than he is to her. So one time I was over his house. No. Scratch that. Before that, I wake up and I see pork chops on the counter, right? It was like frozen pork chops. But the problem was, my boyfriend's coming in the house. Hey, I'm doing this video, so hold on real quick, okay? So anyway, so I come in, I look, sorry guys. Sorry y'all. But anyway, so I see pork chops on my side of the kitchen counter. Now, I already told you her car was dirty. So my thing is, your car is dirty, then something about you must be dirty. So when we moved in the apartment, I established sides. Like, this is my side of the kitchen, it's your side of the kitchen, it's my side, stuff like that. And so when I saw the pork chops on my side of the counter, I got concerned. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got, whatever. So I just see the pork chops and I moved it on her side of the counter. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm thinking, okay, it's not a big deal. I just move it, whatever. And I just go about my day. So I was over at my friend's house. So he gets a text on his phone, and it's from my roommate. And the text said, Vinny is dumb as fuck. So he looks at it and he was like, hey, look at this. And I look at the text message and I was just appalled because I was just like, Vinny, what did I do to make you say I'm dumb as fuck? So I was looking at him and I was like, why did she send that? Like, I don't even know why she sent that. And he was like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I mean, you can go find out. So he texted back saying what she do or whatever. So my roommate replied and said she left pork chops on the kitchen counter and it thawed out, it was leaking blood, and I had to clean it up. So when I saw the text, I was like, hold on. When I went in the kitchen, pork chops was already on the counter. I just moved it. So whether or not if it was on my side, on your side, you were still going to have to clean up blood because guess what? You left it out first. So I just didn't understand what was all that animosity coming from. Like, what amped you to text him about me, knowing that me and him are really, like, we're best friends? So I was like, okay. So when I got in my car, I texted her. I said, hey, we need to talk, And she was like, okay, what about, or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I'll be home or whatever. No, I said about the stuff that you've been saying. And she was like, about what? But anyway, so I came home. She comes home too. But you have to pass my room to get to hers. So I come out of my room door and I said, what's up about these pork chops? And she was like, well, you left it on the counter and the blood was leaking and stuff like that and all that. I said, but you left it on the counter. And she said, no, she said that she thought that I was going to put it in the sink. That's what happened. And I said, but you left it on the counter. So I'm thinking you wanted it on the counter. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on the counter. So she was like, well, I just thought that you would put it in the sink because, common sense, you'll put it in the sink. Common sense? Oh my God. So if you're telling me this advice, why didn't you take your own fucking advice? I said, why didn't you put it in the sink? And she said, well, I was washing dishes and I forgot to put it in the sink. And I was like, you're washing dishes? No, and then she said she was in a rush. That's why she didn't, she forgot to put it in the sink. So I said, you were in a rush, but you were right here washing dishes. So which one is it? That don't even make any sense. If you're in a rush, why are you washing dishes? And so at that point, we didn't come to know, like, common sense, honestly. So I was just like, bruh. In my head, I was like, bro, first of all, why would you text my friend about me? If I'm your roommate, you should be texting me if you have a problem. Why are you going to him, trying to text him, I guess trying to make him believe that I am dumb? But you're the one who's looking dumb. That doesn't even make any sense. You're blaming me for your mistake. And that's what I didn't like. So after that little incident, it may be little, but to me, like, I don't like shit like that. I really don't. So I just avoided her, honestly, altogether. And I was really irritated at that point because it's like, if you tell him that I'm dumb as fuck, who else are you telling? You get what I'm saying? Without the full context of everything. Because honestly, my friend didn't know what was happening. All he know is I left pork chops on the counter. But he didn't know the full story on she left it there and trying to blame me. So people like that, I do not respect and I do not like. Okay, so next thing was, this is where she started to smell. So y'all, okay, so I guess she's one of those type of people that if she didn't have a man, she wasn't going to clean. And that's a huge problem for me because you have a roommate. First of all, you're a girl, so you need to clean. Second of all, you have a roommate that you share a house with, so you want to clean. I just don't understand. But anyway, so her room was the only room with a ceiling fan. And so I don't know if it was like old clothes. I don't know if it was just like the things that came from her house to the apartment that she moved. And it had a stench, it had a smell, whatever. But anyway, so when she cuts on the fan or whatever, it rotates the odor in the room. And like the odor like kind of peer inside the hallways. And mind you, it's a small apartment. So when you walk in the door in the apartment, you can smell it. You get what I'm saying? Like, it already had like an old smell in the apartment anyway when we moved in. But her odor added to it, you know? And I be like, God damn, cause and so even with the bathroom, like I know that I clean the bathroom and I clean it with bleach and stuff like that. So you could tell she been in the bathroom. Like, I'm not OCD, but if things are like misplaced or things like are left on the bathroom counter, it makes me kind of mad because it tells me that you don't clean up after yourself. Even when just, I don't know, it's just really disgusting. And so even the kitchen, that's where I was going next. The kitchen. So I have like a little pan, and when I use it, like she had like a whole kitchen things, and I had like one little pan. And so when I cook, you know, I ask her, can I use your stuff? She'll say yeah. So I cook, and then when I cook and I'm done cooking or whatever, I already ate, I clean up that night. Like, I don't leave anything out or whatever. Like, I scrape, you know, off the excessive food or whatever into the trash, take the trash out. Then I wash the dishes, you know, bleach, whatever is a routine thing. When she cooks and she uses my pan, she doesn't clean up. Now, it's one thing that you don't clean up your dishes, like your cooking utensils, and just leave them there, you know, after you cook. But you're using some of my stuff. You're going to clean up my stuff. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't know when's the next time I'm going to cook. And two, it's not your stuff. So clean it up. So that was a huge problem. And like, we all know that when you don't clean like dishes and stuff and you just leave it in the sink, it creates a smell. It creates a odd smell in the house. And we already in this shitty shack. So, and that little stuff like a food, it, you know, it attracts bugs. Come on now, like, think. So that was a huge problem I had with her. It was just like her hygiene and her upkeep. So I sent her a long paragraph, and I was like, I feel like you don't view me as a roommate because you do X, Y, and Z. And plus, I told her about her smell. I said, you have a smell that's coming from your room and it smells musty, like it's a musty ass smell. And I'm not trying to be funny, but you need to get a hold of that. You need to check on that. So she replied back she was like, the the kitchen food stopper or whatever, it's broke. I mean, it became broke or whatever. And then she didn't really say nothing about her being musty. She was just like, and okay, I appreciated you for telling me or something like that. Okay. So I don't know. I mean, she probably already knew that she had a smell to her. I don't know if it's a condition, but something told me that she knew that. And it just took me to say it. I don't know. So after that, she got a little bit better with her smell. And I was like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? But it was still there, but she got a little bit better. I was like, okay, maybe we can get some. So anyway, so that was cool for maybe the month or two. Then it started up again with her bullshit. So one day I was at work, and so she sends me a picture of a dog. Now the dog was cute, don't get me wrong, but where the dog was concerning, because where the dog was over there at our apartment. So she texted me, she said, hey, my friend let us have a dog, and you know, we're going to decide whether or not we keep it. I texted back, I said, I don't want no damn dog. Because when we first moved in here, we both agreed we're not going to have pets. And everybody knows that pets cost extra money when you have an apartment. So she was like, well, if I decide to keep it. I said, if you decide to keep it, you're responsible for cleaning it, cleaning up after it, and all of the stuff that it requires. I'm not helping you with none. So, and I didn't understand how it was gonna work, because I work early mornings. She works in the afternoons to really late at night. So who's gonna keep the damn dog? The dog has to go out. The dog has to eat. You know what I'm saying? Who's going to maintain the dog if we're both at work? We both work different shifts. So my suspicion came true, because all she did was lock it up in a room and just close the door and turn off the light. So the dog is a puppy. So the dog was whining and stuff like that. So mind you, when she's at work, she used to keep the dog in like a little room like this. Around 7-8 o'clock, I'm ready to go to bed because I work early mornings. So when she did that, the dog used to be scratching on the door, barking and whining, which interfered with my sleep. That shit gotta go. So I text her, I said, no, this dog needs to leave, honestly, because it's barking all night. It won't shut up. You're not going to take it out. I'm definitely not going to take it out. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand why you have this dog if you're not here to take care of it. And so it was one time anyway that she was in the house, and the dog was like running around or whatever, and so the dog was like sniffing on me and stuff like that. And I was getting ready to work, and I was like, hey, can you get this dog, you know? And she was like, don't worry, you know, just kick it. Kick it? What? Yo, I was like, bruh, if you want me to kick this dog, you do not need to have a dog. So anyway, so I was like, let me know if you're planning on keeping this dog, because if you're keeping this dog, I'm leaving. Like, So guess what, guys? Next day, that dog was gone. Like, I did not see that dog no more. I was like, okay, well, you know, she made her or whatever. And okay, so after that, my friend came over the house, but I was at work, whatever. So I guess she let him in, whatever. And so when I came back from work and me and him was talking, he was like, hey, you know, I asked your roommate about the dog and stuff like that. And your roommate said that she had to get rid of it. And so he told me he asked her why. And he said that she said that I was bitching. That's why she had to get rid of the dog. I was bitching. Oh, wow. That's crazy. So basically what you're telling me is you do what I say. Because I didn't make you get rid of a dog. I gave you a choice. Let me know if you're going to keep the dog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm bitching. That's so funny. So anyway, I honestly got like really irritated at that point. So I told her like me and her need to talk like face to face. So it's so funny that like she'll talk behind my back, but when I say let's talk face to face, it's like she, I don't know, it's like she freezes up or she just doesn't, I don't know. It's like one of those, I guess she doesn't like confrontation. You can tell. And so me and her, we sat in the living room face to face, and I told her everything. I was just like, honestly, like, you're really a burden to live with. You really are, because you do little things that doesn't make sense. They're not, I don't know, like, they're not plausible. Like, I don't know. So and I was like, my thing is, I don't understand why would you text my friend about me when you have my number and you live with me, and then like you say all this shit behind my back but don't even say it to my face. Like, I don't understand that. And so I think she was like, well, me and him were friends first. Okay. I mean, so like, if you're bold enough to talk about somebody behind their back, you have the opportunity to say it to my face. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to figure out what a problem is. I'm trying to figure out how can me and you stay together for this, little time and just make it peaceful. But ever since we moved in here, you just been making it, honestly, just difficult for no reason. And I was like, you called me dumb as fuck, and then you say I was bitching. And she was like, I didn't say you were bitching, stuff like that. And I was like, oh, really? Because what's her name said you did. And she was like, no, he's lying and stuff like that. So I called him on the phone. I was like, hey, she said she never said this. So which one of y'all is lying? And I was like, he was like, no, she really said that. Like, she really did say that. And she was like, she was arguing. She was like, no, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. And so I asked him, I said, did she really say it? And he was like, yeah, she really did. And so he hung up the phone. And she was like, I wouldn't even say that. I said, first, you would say that I'm dumb as fuck. So if I know that you would say that I'm dumb as fuck, I know that you say that I'm bitching. It comes together. Like, I'm not dumb. If I know that you would say this, I know that you would say that. The only reason that I know that you said the first thing is because I saw it through text. The second thing, I didn't hear you say it. But these things go hand in hand because you love talking about me. So I was like, let me see, look, from now on, can we just have like something peaceful? Can we please like stop with the extra shit. So she was like, okay, things like that. So after that, I'm thinking we're cool. You know, I'm thinking we finally have a, you know, woman to woman talk, and this is gonna go smoothly. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. So she got a boy to come over the house. Now, do you? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have company. I ain't nowhere to be found, you know, stuff like that. I don't care. Because I have company, you know? It became a problem when one time I was in the shower and I hear somebody come in the apartment and go straight to her room, you know? So I get out the shower, go to my room, I look out the window, her car wasn't out there. But I thought I heard somebody come in the apartment. So I just didn't think it was nothing, whatever. So the second time, my friend was over and we were just chilling. And we saw footsteps. No, we heard somebody come in the door. And we saw footsteps under my door. So I'm thinking, you know, my roommate's just home. So I look out, her car is not there. But we both saw that somebody was coming, you know, through that door. So I tell him to go out and look, you know what I'm saying? Go. And I grabbed my knife that was in my drawers, you know, in my drawer, my dresser. And he goes over there and he knocks on my roommate's door. So he knocks 3 times, and then like a male voice was like, yeah. So my friend was like, oh my bad, we just trying to figure out who's in here. And right now, I'm pissed. So I text my roommate, I said, you need to let me know that you're gonna have company because he almost got stabbed. Your company almost got stabbed. And she was like, my bad, I didn't know that he was coming that early. Okay. So the next time or whatever, I was in my room. She left to go to work, but her company was still in the house. So I at that point I was heated because I texted her. I said, would you like your boyfriend to be your roommate? She was like, no. And I said, well, why not? And she was like, because he has a place of his own or something like that. He pays rent over, somewhere. And I was like, if he pays rent somewhere other than here, why the fuck is he here when you're not here? It was just like, at that point, I'm livid. So I was like, I'm trying to think. I was like, why is he here? First of all, when you leave, your company goes with you. No ifs, ands, or buts. I don't know her company. Her company does not know me. But the situation is, he's a guy, I'm a girl. If she leaves and he's still here, something can happen to me or him. You get, it's going to be a nasty, if he was like that. So if something happens to me, it's going to be her fault for leaving her company in an apartment where he does not pay rent, nor is he on the lease. So it's just her actions. She does things without thinking it through. And so I was just really like letting her have it. So I was like, first of all, You don't tell me that company is coming when you're not here. Second of all, you give your company a key to the apartment that we share. Now, I can understand if you're here by yourself, but I'm here and you give a key to your company without letting me know. That is very disrespectful. That is very inconsiderate. And so she was just like, I'm sorry, and I didn't think about it, and things like that, and I'll tell him to leave. And I was like, okay, but you still gonna hit his mouth. Like, because you just been doing all this stuff without no consideration. And so when it finally blows up, now you want to be sorry. But you wasn't sorry for any other stuff that you did. And this time, like, you really crossed the line. Because now, like, you're affecting my safety in my own home. So, and I didn't understand when she was like, he already has a place where he pays rent. Now, mind you, this man been over the house every single night. That's why I got a problem. He's over there every single night, and he thinks it's his house because he comes in the house without saying anything to me, without even acknowledging the fact that his friend or his girlfriend, whatever they are, has a roommate. That's very disrespectful. That's just like, I'm coming in a house where two people share a home. The person that invited me, they're not there. The other person is in there. So I'm going into this house without saying anything and trying to sneak my way into my friend's room. That person that's in that house gonna think that I'm either a burglar or something. You get what I'm thinking? He's a burglar when he came in that house like that, because he did not say anything to me saying, hey, I'm your roommate's friend. Hey, I'm here. I'm not no, you know what I'm saying? Like, he doesn't acknowledge himself when he comes into the apartment. That's what I have a problem with. Because his action speaks very much robbery or very much criminal. Because who else comes into somebody's house without saying something? Criminals, robbers. Like, come on. So I end up telling the landlord, honestly, because forget her. Like, you did all this stuff, and now I'm like at the point where I really don't give a fuck about you. So my mom was on the phone when I was up there, the landlord. My mom was going off. My mom was like, either is there a way that, y'all can do something about this or stuff like that. So the landlord was very understanding. She was like, that is a problem. No, before that, I told my roommate, I was like, I'm going to the landlord about this because honestly, I really don't care anymore. And she was like, I think she was like, I already told you I'm sorry, but okay. So when I went to the landlord was like, oh, your roommate already came up here. And I was like, did she? And she was like, yeah. She was telling me about the situation, and I already told her that I was wrong for her to give out her key. She's such a dumbass. Like, why would you go up there and tell the landlord? I don't know. Why would you go up there and tell the landlord that you admit that you gave your key away? That's so dumb. Anyway, it just speaks volume of who I was dealing with. But, so the landlord was pretty much on my side. She was like, yeah, she should never did that. I mean, that's a lawsuit. Because it is. And so what ended up happening, the landlord got the maintenance to come to the apartment to put a lock on my door. Now, that was the only thing that they said that they could do, which is pretty stupid. Because honestly, at that time, I want to get the fuck ASAP. Like, I want to go. Like, I didn't want to stay no more time in there. But it was in the middle of the semester, and I had one more semester to go. So honestly, I was just tired. I was just like, let me try to stick it out. Let me try to stick it out to graduation. That's what I had to do. So after that, it kind of died down, of course, because after that little incident, she went away for like 2 or 3 weeks. Because the landlord wanted to have a conversation with me, her, and both our parents or whatever. But mysteriously, she was going away for 2 weeks. So we didn't end up having a meeting, which is fine. I mean, I had the house to myself for 2 weeks. So after that, didn't say anything, didn't do anything. So it was really peaceful. The guy still came around. Well, I don't know if it was this guy or another guy. I don't know, but it was pretty. I mean, the guy, I don't know what happened to that guy, but it was like another guy. And they started smoking in the room. Like I said, if you do anything that's like odor in the room, it smells up the whole apartment. That's how little the apartment was. So every time I came in the apartment, musty weed smell. And her musty smell came back. So that's what made it so apparent, like the smell. At that point, I was like, May 9th, come on. Like, come on. And so when May 9th came, graduated or whatever. So after graduation, I was trying to go home. Like, I was literally packing up my stuff little by little and going home. And like trying to transfer my job, whatever. So all my stuff was packed, except my bed and stuff. So all my stuff was packed in the living room. And I told her, hey, can we have a face-to-face conversation? It was our last conversation. So we did. I said, hey, I'm moving out. See all this stuff. Our lease our lease was going to end in August, but this was around like end of May, going to June, and my shit was packed up. Like, I ain't playing no games. And so I was like, since my name is still on the lease, I'm still gonna pay my part of the rent, because I don't want my credit to be fucked up too. So we both agreed, So then what happened? So the day before I actually left, now my name is on the light bill. So we split everything 50-50. So it was the rent, light bill, and the Wi-Fi. So her name is on the Wi-Fi. My name is on the light bill. And so I called the light bill company and I said, hey, I'm moving out. My roommate's still going to be in this apartment, but the light bill's on my name. So what do I do? So they said, well, we cut off same day and things like that. So whenever you want to cut it off from your name, let us know. Your roommate's still going to be there. She needs to call or come up there and put it in her name. I said, okay, cool. So I'm telling her that, you have to call them and whatever, get your name, because I'm moving out, things like that. So I don't know if things wasn't clicking in her head, because I'm thinking, like, she thought it was a game. It was no game, baby. So the day before I left, all my stuff, packed. Day before I left, I knew she had company in her room, so she left, whatever, to get something or whatever. He was still there. I thought we had a conversation about it, but I guess we didn't in her head. So I'll try to go to the bathroom. He comes out of her room, cuts in front of me, and go in the bathroom. Really. So at that point, I was just like, bro, what the hell? Like, what? So I'm going off. And so I guess he told her that I was going off because she texted me. She was like, hey, I'm sorry about my boyfriend. I just went, you know, to the store to get some medicine. I'm coming right now to pick him up. Pick him up? He ain't got a car? So I was just like, I don't give a damn. Like, I don't give a damn if you're going for a walk. He needs to leave. We just had this conversation. This is where it blew up. So anyway, at that point, I just texted back. I said, make sure you get up and you call the light bill company and, you know, do what you gotta do. And then she texted back. She said, we gotta do it together. No, the fuck we don't. I said, okay. So that morning, I called the light bill company, and I was like, I'm moving out. I want this bill off my name. And so they was like, okay. And so I even had the courtesy, like, after that, to tell her, hey, I just called them. You know, they could cut it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, make sure you call them. I don't think I got a response. So I was like, okay, cool. So I went to the landlord when all my shit was packed in the car. And I was like, hey, I'm moving out. So is there anything that I need to sign? Anything I need to do? She was like, yeah, sign this. It was like a paper, you know, saying that I waived the rights to the apartment, things like that or whatever. And she was like, so I signed it and my landlord signed it. And she said, my roommate, you know, needs to come up there and sign the bottom half or whatever. And I was like, okay, you know, whatever. So at that point, I was gone. Like, I was on the road, stuff like that. And so my roommate then sent me these pictures of, like, my room and how I left, I think, like, little pearl, like 3 little pearls on the floor. And then I left a stain on, like, the counter of where my coffee maker was. Girl, if you don't get out my face, like, why are you sending me stuff like that? If it's not damaged, if it's not teared up, why are you sending me? Like, come on now you just trying to be petty. And I was like, oh, my bad. I didn't clean up this little stuff. I'm sorry. Like, it's like, you can't sue me for that. It's just, it was literally, y'all, it was literally like little pearls. 3 little pearls on the floor. And she was like, well, you know, I need to make sure that, I don't know if she said make sure that I have your half of the rent and stuff like that, and things like that. And I was like, oh, you need to talk to the landlord about that, because when I signed that paper, I reserved my rights, like, to the apartment. Like, I'm not liable for the lease. And so I went home and I talked to my grandma about it. My grandma was like, call the leasing manager and be sure. So me and her both called her. And the leasing manager was like, yeah, you're not liable to pay rent. You are not, like me, are not liable to pay rent anymore. And I was like, okay, because I never knew a leasing, you know, agreement to do that, like to let go one person. You know, usually both people are responsible until the end of your lease, but somehow she let me go. I don't know why. I don't know how. I didn't debate. So my roommate, maybe like, you know, 2-3 hours later, my roommate texted back. She was like, did you have the lights cut off? I said, oh, they really did it? You know what I'm saying? I didn't know when they was going to do it. They didn't tell me. And she was like, she said, do what? And I said, to turn the lights off. Like, yes, I had the lights cut off. She was going off, child. She was like, why did you do that? Now I have to sit in the dark. Now I have to go to work, and all the food in the refrigerator is gonna go spoiled, and I still live here. Why would you do that when I still live here? I said, I literally kept telling you to call them to put your name on the bill. I literally told you that I'm not going to have my name on the bill anymore. Once you remove your name off of a bill, what happens? It disconnects. Like, shit, yeah. And so she was just going back and forth with me. It's like, she was like, but you didn't tell me that. You just said that you was taking your name off of it. What happens when you take your name off of a bill? I don't know. Like, that chick was like... So, I don't think I texted back. Honestly, I didn't text back. I was like... Because at this point, I really don't feel sorry. And so... And I didn't give her the half of the rent either. Well, honestly, I gave her the rent for June. But June 1st is when I left. So the leasing manager even said, she was like, she got a month to come up with that money. And I said, oh, okay. You know, I don't know how. But best believe she did text me back. She did text me the end of June and said, you know, I need the half of the rent money. And I ain't texted back. I don't feel sorry. I guess it's just me being inconsiderate, but you've been inconsiderate all this time. And now I came up to bite you in the ass. The leasing management was on my side. Even a maintenance man said that she's pretty. It was kind of something wrong. I'm sorry. But that's my story. Bye.